So I'm going to give you three, what I like to call order of operations. And there's three kind of ways you might tackle this downsizing effort overall. And the first one that you see here, has the 4 pieces outside of planning, where you would sort all your, this is a traditional model. You would sort all your stuff. You would figure out what you want, and then you would go ahead and do all the divesting too. You would get it all out of the house one way or another. You would whittle your belongings down to as little as possible. Then the movers come, or no, actually, so then you sell the house while you're still in it. And then during the settlement period, then you schedule your move, and it all becomes very tight and linear like that. Now, this is a model that lots of people do at all stages of their life. You can certainly choose to do it this way. The downside to this way, especially if you've been in your home for a long time, is that being in the home for the divesting and the selling can get kind of sticky. It's going to be a little uncomfortable for you. Things are not going to be your normal routine. But then the upside is that you stay in your house all the way to the very end, and there's really no downtime between your current place and then your residence. So that's one way to do it. Now, the second way, and I'll go ahead and tell you this, I prefer this way, if you can swing it, is to do your sorting. That's always going to be your job. Nobody can do that for you. But then go ahead and move. So this is the take what you want and walk away model. And in this model, you take what you want, we go ahead and move you. It can be a pretty quick process. I mean, you'll have homework to do leading up to it, but let's go ahead and get you and your favorite stuff out of the home. At that point, we can bring in people, auction companies, estates, donations, all of that stuff can happen after you've left. And a good benefit of doing it this way is that it gives you the opportunity to go back and kind of edit your choices. Like maybe you brought over some stuff that turns out you don't really need or don't really have the space for, or you're like, I could have brought that rolling pin. Let me go back and get it. So it gives you that flexibility, and it just kind of relieves you from having to be around for the messy part. And then, because you guys, some of you have longer lead up than others, but you have some time to work with, I'm just going to throw it out there that you could go ahead and do your sorting. That's your job. You could pick all your favorite stuff. We could put that in a storage, facility, and you could take off. You could take off. You could live in a vacation cottage. You could go on a long vacation or a cruise, or, you could do something temporary. And this would allow you to take advantage of the current, real estate situation. If you're just itching to go, like maybe you don't want to wait, like maybe you're just ready to take care of this now. This is certainly an option. There's a little bit more logistics involved, obviously. There's a spread between where you get your proceeds from your home and where you would have to, do your own thing for a little while. But I think it's a fun option, and that, if you think it sounds fun, I think you should at least consider it. So once you figured out what order you're going to do this in, which I encourage you to do, as early as you can, what makes sense, that's going to be the foundation for your plan. But then you really need to factor in, what is your personal work style? Who are you? How do you get projects done? And nobody knows that better than you, right? Or your partner. So if you are someone who loves to have a big project, love to have your list, likes to work along and be really methodical and get things done, this can be a nice meaty project for you. This really could keep you busy, give you something to do, have a goal to work towards. And some people really enjoy that. So that's the methodical approach. Now, other people, this is completely fine, don't want to think about it at all. For whatever reason, either they're not mentally don't want to think about it, or they just don't want to think about it. They're busy doing other stuff. All of this stuff can happen like right up against the move also. So there's no wrong way to do it, but it is nice to know which way it's going to go, because then we can kind of plan for that, and have the resources in place according to how it's going to go down for you in your particular situation. Now over here, I've got a little jackalope, and he represents really the best of both worlds, which is what you have, because you have this lead up. And that is the hybrid approach where you take this luxury of time that you have and spend it addressing collections. And collections are um, really the artifacts in your house, the things that you care about, valuable items, art, photos, things that mean something to you. If you have the luxury of doing it, you can do that on the early side, and you can be working along towards that so that when the time comes to like make some major moves, all that stuff will be taken care of. You'll be deliberate. You won't have angst about, oh, I should have worked harder on that. So that's my personal recommendation. I think you have the best outcome if you work on your sentimental items and collections early.